Why would the government try to dilute the powers of the existing Comptroller and Auditor General? Why would the government want at this stage to make it a multi-member body? Is this a response to the criticism that the government has been receiving from the CNAG? And will it be acceptable by the opposition, by civil society, by watchers of policy making in our country? On our debate, I'm glad to be joined by former Comptroller and Auditor General, Mr. V.N. Kaul. Thank you very much. Harish Salve, former Solicitor General. Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Member of Parliament and Congress spokesperson. Sudhindra Kulkarni, Senior Leader and spokesperson of the BJP. And Naresh Gujral, Rajya Sabha MP of the Shiromani Akali Dal. Mr. Gujral, let me begin by asking you, what do you think of all this controversy that's been going on? The front page news that's been going on about what Mr. Narayan Swamy has said, and he almost seems to have let the cat out of the bag vis-a-vis the government's plans on the CAG.
I think it's very unfortunate. You nurture, you strengthen democracy by nurturing certain institutions, and this is an attempt to weaken an institution which has stood the test of time. And this particular CNG, he should be decorated. I was hoping that they would give him Padma Vibhushan or something. The kind of scams that he has unearthed, starting with Commonwealth Games, 2G, coal, airport scam, and now the gas scam. I mean, he's serving the nation, and now this is an attempt being made to weaken the entire institution. I think it's extremely unfortunate.
Sudhindra Kulkarni, let me hear from you as well. Then I'll get a response from the government. What do you think of this move to make the CNAG a multi-member body, which is not what the opposition wanted? The opposition wanted a broad basing of the selection panel of the CNAG to make the process of selecting the CNAG more transparent. But the government's talking of something else. What do you think is the government's intent?
No, this is not just unfortunate, it is highly condemnable. Because the person who has started this controversy is not an ordinary MOS, Minister of State. He is a Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office, which means that what he says publicly in some ways represents the Prime Minister's mind. Secondly, for him to say that he is misquoted is, makes him more culpable, because PTI has shown the truth. So the very credibility of the Prime Minister's office is in question. But far more important is the timing of this disclosure that the government is seriously considering making CAG a multi-member body.
Yeah. Because
CAG in recent years has unearthed some of the most horrendous corruption scandals. And if you see this in the overall context of the UPA government trying to undermine all democratic institutions, CBI, of course, we know what it has been reduced to. A tainted, a pliable officer was sought to be made chief of CVC. So in this context, wanting to make CAG a multi-member body is not really meant for improving the organizational efficiency of this audit body, the Apex audit body, but rather to make it toothless, and therefore it is highly condemnable.
Don't you think people will see through it, Dr. Singhvi? Don't you think people will see through it?
I want to make 3 or 4 points, Arnav, and 1 or 2 of them include certain preliminary points before I come to the meat of the matter. First of all, there is a denial by the minister, and I for one would take it as a denial. So there appears to be a storm in the teacup.
Sir, the Press Trust of India has released the tape.
Correct, that he never said it.
The PTI has released the tape.
I said it's a preliminary point. Arnav, you have at least 3 people there as at present advised, including yourself, who have taken a particular view. I have to defend a particular view. Let me at least deal with it. Give me sufficient time without interruption, please. I just started by saying the first preliminary point is the minister has denied it. Now, assuming whatever he is saying is there, it shows that there is no such active proposal, because there would not be a denial then. Secondly, in the marketplace of ideas, in a democracy, if there is a proposal, and you know in government there are several proposals, counter proposals which move around, there is nothing to throw up your hands in the arm, and I should be forgiven for thinking as if we are discussing a bill to extinguish or eliminate the CAG. No such proposal is doing the rounds. There could be a proposal, many proposals floated in the government, and to suggest as if there is an emasculation in the offing around the corner is wrong. But let me come to the meat of the matter now. It is not, Arnab, as if you can change this system without a statutory amendment at the least. Some people may well say it requires a constitutional amendment, but at least a statutory change. Now, a statutory change has to go through several levels. It has to be discussed in Parliament, in committee, and given the overarching media vision and parliamentary divisiveness, please do not think that this is a policy of stealth or surreptitious approach. That's the wrong thing. It will come out fully if there is and when there is a proposal. Lastly and most importantly, on the merits of the matter. If there is some merit in the system or the principle that more heads than one, wiser and saner counsel prevail, if there is some merit in the principle of collegiality and collectivity, and please do not think of the CAG as a person, please do not think of the CAG as Vinod Rai. He may be here today, he will in any case go tomorrow. We are talking about an institution.
Sir,
there has been a similar expansion of the Election Commission. It was challenged on almost similarly hysterical grounds as I hear. 1 second, let me complete, please. It was challenged in almost similar hysterical voices and grounds in the Supreme Court. That expansion to a multi-member commission was upheld with strong legal reasons. It is wrong. I think the fundamental fallacy, and I'm now only speaking of the merits, is to look at it as in terms of individuals.
Sir, I am not looking at it in terms of individuals.
An individual is whom will appoint.
No, Abhishek Singhvi. Abhishek Singhvi, you made 3 points.
These are the 4 answers I wanted to give.
No, there were 3 points. I have 3 quick rebuts. I can't resist before I go to Mr. Salve and then go across to VN Call to take the debate further. First, you say he's been misquoted. The Press Trust of India has released the tape, so he was not misquoted. Secondly, you say it's not under active consideration. In the answer of the minister himself in the PTI tape, he admits under active consideration. Thirdly, you say that we are not trying to emasculate it. The question is why the thought now? And finally, you say wiser and saner. Are you indicating that the present CAG, the very outspoken Vinod Rai, is neither wise nor sane enough as per the the requirement of the government? Harish Salve, whatever the difference,
you have done precisely.
However much the irritant the present CAG must be to the government, is this the way to go about it?
Arnab, I don't want to get drawn into the politics, whether the CAG has exposed scams or not exposed scams, whether what Vinod Rai has been doing is right or wrong is a secondary issue. Let's focus on institutions rather than rhetoric. I think it's a downright silly idea to say that there has to be a multi-headed CAG. And let me tell you why. What is the Comptroller Auditor General? It's a constitutional authority who audits government accounts, both propriety and accounting wise.
Yes.
Now, ultimately, there has to be one person who signs a balance sheet, who takes responsibility. And that person is the CAG. Can you have a multi-headed Attorney General's office? I mean, can you have multi-chief justices? There has to be one person. So the CAG has to be one person. Anybody working has to be below him because he is the person at whose table the buck stops.
Yep.
You can't have multi-presidents. You can't have multi-prime ministers. So, there are certain posts where there has to be a decision maker. And there are different voices, and there should be different voices in the CAG's office. And finally, there is a man who takes the call, and he is the CAG of India. And whatever else the current CAG, Mr. Rai, may have been, the man is fiercely independent. I may not agree with a lot of what he has said. I may not agree with a lot of things which he has done and the way he has gone about it, but I will fiercely defend his right to do it.
Abhishek Singhvi, that comes from Harish Salve, who has been outspokenly critical of some of the numbers that the CNAG has come with. You see, however much of an irritant he may be, this is not the response. Let's get VN Call in. VN Call, where do you stand on this as a former CAG yourself?
Look, let me clarify first of all that this is not a new idea. This idea was first proposed by the Abid Hussain Committee which produced a consultation paper for the National Committee on the Amendment of Working of the Constitution, the Jeevan Reddy Committee and others. And in that committee, they had said that collegial decision-making may be considered for the CNAG. So it's not an idea that Mr. Narayanaswamy or anyone has come up like this. This idea was proposed by the Abid Hussain Committee in 2001. It was thoroughly examined, and all aspects of the problem were looked at, and finally and fortunately the idea was put to bed. The reason being that the examples that had been quoted by the Abid Hussain Committee related to countries like Japan, Korea, France, and I think Germany. So these countries have completely different systems of audit. They have court system, or a court of accounts, or a board of audit. The Cour des Comptes in France has a completely different history. And auditing is a social science which is deeply rooted in the country. And in our country, we have based our system essentially on the Westminster model. And nowhere in the Westminster model, where you have something called a Comptroller and Auditor General of India, is it a multi-headed hydra, as someone called it. It is always a single person, but it does not mean that the single person is sort of, is personally responsible for everything. Even in the CAG's organization, as far as commercial audit is concerned, under him there's an audit board on which they co-opt people from experts from different areas to help the auditors come to a balanced view.
That's true.
And so the similar scheme can be adopted here if you want greater consultation and collegiality, instead of making the constitutional body into a multi-headed hydra. I mean, that would dilute his personal responsibility, in fact, and not make him more responsible. Secondly, it will have unintended consequences. It will require a constitutional change. The Constitution is very clear on what the CAG is.
Yes.
And when you go for a constitutional change, you don't know what the consequences of the change down the line will be. And secondly, there will be enormous costs. You will have 13 or 14, as in Japan, for instance, they have 3 commissioners of audit. In Korea, they have 15 commissioners of audit. And now each of them wants to be a high court judge with all the powers and all the privileges of the office. All this means a lot of unnecessary cost. I think it was a bad idea, but these bad ideas have a habit of coming out again and again.
Why do you think
there is political inconvenience on any side?
Why do you think, Mr. Kaul, let's nail the issue and then take the debate forward. Mr. Kaul, what do you think is the real reason, the mover behind this idea coming up once again? Why do you think it's come up once again, Mr. Kaul?
When the government is battling a lot of criticism on these audits, so it's desperately looking for new ideas. And this happens to be, as I said, a bad idea which was laid to bed and has come back again as a solution to the problem. The problem will not be solved by this. It will just dilute responsibility. As someone very rightly said, I think Mr. Salve, that an auditing is a personal responsibility. You can't have 3 auditors giving 3 opinions at the same time. So therefore, I think the idea is it is best to discuss it thoroughly, examine what are the advantages of being the advantages of the pre-collegial CBC, the pre-collegial CEC, and if they find something worthwhile, there is no bar to examining. But I think it's a bad idea.
While now I'm going to get a response first back from Dr. Yes, Mr. Salve,
I just want to add one sentence.
Yes, and then I'll get the response.
Just one sentence.
Yeah.
This is not the time to discuss this idea. As my late guru, Mr. Palkhiwala, used to say, you don't discuss redecorating plans of your bedroom when your drawing room is on fire. You first put the fires out. Right now, we have far more serious matters confronting the credibility of our very system of governance. I think we need to address that and rebuild the confidence in India. Our country is going down the chute. Believe me, day in and day out, people are losing faith in the country, within and outside India. This is not the time where you try to make these kind of changes. I don't know, this government seems to have mastered the art of inviting crisis upon itself. I mean, surely this is not the time when you even discuss this idea.
Dr. Singhvi, is the government not aware that this move, now that it's come in the public eye, is making you look extremely defensive, and if I may say so, makes the government seem like the Congress party has forgotten what Ambedkar, Jawaharlal Nehru, President Rajendra Prasad and Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan themselves felt about the independence and functioning of the CAG? Why would you do something like that?
Arnav, I can hear 4 clear voices having one view, and yours is the 5th. allow me a sixth small voice. I entirely agree, and that is why I started by saying that first you assume that the entire government single point high priority agenda at the moment is to make the CAG into a multi-member body. It does not even appear to be a priority. The minister has officially denied it.
So the minister has
please do
admitted
not give it the importance
that it is
and give
under
it
the consideration of the government.
1 minute.